What's up, everybody? So the next sign I want to go through is the sign of Aquarius, and this is the last of the air signs. And then we have Pisces to follow, which is a water sign, and that'll round out the zodiac. To start with, Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and it is the sign of individuality. And so wherever this sign is in the chart, it is really important that we develop our individuality to its fullest potential. This becomes even more important if you have planets here, or if it's in one of the major angles of your chart, the rising, your fourth house, your 10th house, or your seventh house. It's not to say it's not important if it's somewhere, if you don't have planets here, or it's not at one of those places. It just, it becomes less pronounced, but you will feel it in that area once you start to, understand where it is. So with developing your individuality, what is really important is that you are holding to your truth and who you are no matter what. And where this can be really difficult is because Aquarius is an air sign. It means that it is a social sign, and it is also the sign of groups. And so we are going to be put into groups in this area, whether we like it or not, and specifically if there are planets here. And it becomes very difficult to maintain your individuality within a group, because there's groupthink, there's group speak, there's all that weird stuff that happens when we socially get together and we start to lose ourselves within the framework of a group dynamic. And you may think oh, I'm an individual, I can just be myself. And it becomes difficult here because there's peer pressure, there's a need to conform, there's all these different things that can really push you down and make you not feel like an individual. And maybe you have it somewhere where, if it's in a firehouse, it actually could be easier to express. Whereas if it's in, let's say the house of home, you may be seen as the oddball or the black sheep of the family. And that's hard. It's hard if your family is like this, and then you're out here kind of as an outsider, and you just don't really fit in with your family. So here, what becomes really important is to just acknowledge how different you are. Acknowledge how different you are, and that your ideas are different, your values are different, and that's okay. And even if people say that it's not, it is okay. Because here is really where your genius is developed. And everyone has a genius of some kind. You just have to find it and let it out. And I'm not talking about you're going to invent a light bulb, or you're going to invent something. Maybe that could be the case. But you could be a social genius. You could be really genius with money. You could be really genius with sports. You could be really genius with sexuality. The sky is really the limit here as far as what your genius is. What is interesting about being a genius, though, is that there's a very fine line between genius and insanity. And so here you kind of have to dance that line of okay, I don't want to look insane and off and crazy and all of that kind of stuff, but I also really want to just be myself to the fullest extent. And sometimes, whether you like it or not, you're going to come off as crazy or off, or, whatever adjective or noun you want to put there. But that doesn't necessarily mean you are. It just means you might be ahead of people. You might be ahead of the times. Some Aquariuses that I can think of that come to mind is Michael Jordan is an Aquarius, and Charles Dickens was an Aquarius. And in their respective fields, they changed the game. And so you have the ability to change things very, very quickly and abruptly here, because of your ability to question what is not working. So this is a place where you're questioning the status quo, you're questioning tradition, you're questioning all these different things. If it's raining, let's say thousands of years ago, and people thought oh, the gods are really angry, and someone says, no, I'm pretty sure that it just rains at this time of the year. That is seen as a genius thing, because you see outside the box. So this is a very outside the box area as well in your chart. And you want to treat it as such, where you can experiment here. You can push the limits of like what to think, what to believe, like, and you can turn things upside down in this area of the chart. And it's really important that you do so. It's important that you do so because this is for you. This is for you, and where like as you kind of express those really avant-garde ideas and beliefs and everything, they may start to become like, culturally norms. I mean, just think of the first iPhone. Like, no one thought that was going to be a thing, or even a BlackBerry. And it's what I'm using to film right now. Like, everyone uses it on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok and like the social media platforms that aren't even existing yet, which are going to be like those Aquarian ideas that you see something and then you believe it and then it happens. Here, it's really important that like you find, what makes you different inside, and then you express it on the outside. Because what can tend to happen with Aquarius is that it's just rebellious and quirky to be rebellious and quirky. That it doesn't really have a purpose for doing so, where it's like, oh, everyone's wearing blue, I'm gonna wear red. Oh, everyone's talking this way, I'm gonna talk this way. And it's not like really grounded or rooted in anything specific to you. It's just like it is a clash with society, instead of you're just doing it because it's you. Like, you're not trying to get a rise out of anybody. It's just you that's doing it. Also, like, you want to guard against like the superficiality of like, doing things on the outside that appear like quirky and weird and eclectic and all that. But on the inside, you're still like one of the sheep. You're still following orders. You're still going with everybody else. Like, it's your beliefs and your values and your systems that need to change internally to really like convince people like, yeah, I mean, like, I respect them. I don't get it, but I definitely respect them for like, being different. And if it's just on the outside and it's not really on the inside, people aren't going to really see you as like a person. They're just going to see like you're doing everything right, and you're kind of quirky, you're kind of out there, but like when they talk to you, you're just kind of not there. And that can be a really dark side of Aquarius, is like you're doing all the social things, you're doing all the norms, you're you're a little quirky and all of that, but when they talk to you, like there's no person there. So it becomes really important to like know who you are and believe in that, and really just like define who you are as an individual. I hope you've enjoyed this video. We have one more left in this series with Pisces, and I will see you guys there. Take care. Peace.